In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
So I'm sure many of you remember that iconic moment from this past presidential debate cycle where the evil orange man, Donald J. Orange Man Bad Trump decided to talk about issues that were going on in an Ohio town that had seen an influx of Haitian migrants during the Biden administration. Now, of course, the specific claims of Haitians broadly kidnapping dogs and pets and cats and whatnot from the surrounding community are, let's just say, a bit far-fetched, a bit ridiculous, and in reality, repeating these particular claims allowed the media to kind of obscure any talk of weird goings-ons when it comes to animals, like sacrifices of animals, that a lot of communities who had never experienced this stuff before are suddenly dealing with now that, of course, Biden let in so many illegal aliens who were defrauding the asylum system. And today's story out of Howard Beach, Queens, features a viral video of a swan being abducted from Howard Beach, Queens. Let me play you a little bit of that right now.
All right, Lee, thanks. Now to a bizarre story out of Queens. Police tracked down and arrested a group of people accused of illegally removing a swan from Frank Charles Park.
And it was all caught on camera.
And although this video is going viral because of the crazy nature of said video, in reality, this is actually a more common occurrence than you actually know in this particular area in Queens and in a bunch of places around the country that have seen an influx of third world immigrants. Now, of course, we're going to have to break this down. We're going to talk about this. But before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay?
The video is viral. A young man running with a swan in his hands out of Frank Charles Memorial Park in Howard Beach, Queens.
So you could actually see two of the individuals who were arrested in this particular swan napping, but make no mistake about it, there were 4 individuals involved that we know about as of right now. One of them was underage, and as you could see by the look of these individuals, they are clearly and obviously descendants from those who got here on the Mayflower. I mean, if those people don't look like pilgrims who have been in the United States of America for a very long time, then nobody looks like a natural-born American descendant from the settlers that made this country so wonderful. I mean, obviously, they might be of Irish descent. Maybe they came here in the 20s on the boats and whatnot, but I'm just saying, it's just, a lot of people are going to say they might look a little third world, but to me, these guys definitely look like people from England who were here at the founding of this nation, if you're an absolute idiot.
So they came up this path here and they ran out towards the street.
Stephanie Santiago, who lives nearby, and her daughter recorded the cell video that shows the stolen swan being stuffed into a car.
They're federally protected birds. They sunbake in my yard, pretty much, and I see them every day.
The school attendance teacher even captured the 4 males laughing as they sped away Saturday night just before 8:30.
Oh, I yelled at them. I was irate.
So one of the reasons why I spent so much time joking about these people being descended from the people who came via the Mayflower is because in reality, it's not actually about race. What you're going to find is that a bunch of people who have actually lived in this particular area, Howard Beach, Queens, whether they're of Latino origin or they're of white origin or some other kind of origin, are absolutely outraged by this because these are federally protected birds. They're absolutely beautiful birds. And swans, apparently, I didn't realize this until I read the New York Post article, mate for life. So now they have the mate of this swan that's just crying out constantly for their partner who has been kidnapped by these absolute scumbags. And by the way, this is an area that has seen an uptick in animal sacrifices, and this likely might be the thing that was going on here. And by the way, when the police ended up making the arrest of these individuals, they still haven't determined what the fate was of this particular swan that these people so cruelly abducted.
I was beside myself. I was rage.
Neighbor PJ Marcel saw the video and posted it on his popular Facebook group page called Howard Beach Dads.
It was crazy. As soon as I saw the post, I contacted Stephanie. I said, "You saw this? You took the video?" She was also still riled up from the whole incident.
Marcel says he then shared the video on his public page.
So again, what you see right here is a community working together. You have the woman whose daughter filmed the initial video, realized what was going on. She's obviously distressed about this because these swans are a part of their community. Then you have these outsiders coming in, abducting it, laughing about it, enjoying themselves, having a good time, breaking federal law, which, by the way, if these people are here illegally, the federal government should prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law and then ship their asses back where they came from. And then you have this guy right here who has a Facebook page, which is Dads of Howard Beach. Again, very wholesome, community oriented. He posts this video that he receives from the neighbor, and this starts to get attention. And that attention ends up leading to arrests. It ends up leading to consequences because we all know many a times these stories don't get captured on video and they get completely ignored. And again, we're going to talk about all the cases that you didn't hear about, that there aren't viral videos for, because they are indicative of broader problems with importing the third world into all these communities.
It got almost 150,000 views and 2,000 shares in less than 16 hours.
Less than 24 hours after posting that viral video from here, the suspects were spotted about 2 miles away at Forest Park.
Oh, wow, the overwhelming, like, wow, this is them. I couldn't believe it.
A neighbor and New York City parks worker, Frank Kelly, took this picture Sunday of the same blue Prius and spotted what appeared to be the same suspects outside.
It felt great. I ain't gonna lie to you. It felt good to do good.
Again, a lot of people say that there's no sense of community in these particular neighborhoods, but the fact of the matter is that is not the case, as represented by what we saw right here. You had this video going viral, again, shared on a dad's Facebook page, recorded by a woman in the area's young daughter, and this ends up leading to somebody being able to identify the suspects, identify the Prius, and guess what? The police show up, they make the arrest.
He sent the picture and video to his wife, who sent it to Marcel, who forwarded them to U.S. Parks Police. Marcel rushed to Forest Park just in time to record this cell phone video of 3 of the 4 male suspects getting arrested. Police confirmed the 4th was later located. The charges are pending. One of the suspects is a minor.
And then they send in the forensics team to basically figure out whether or not this bird was in here, and hopefully they face serious criminal charges.
The CSI unit came after all the guys were detained, and basically they went in the vehicle with their suits on and everything, and they found all kinds of swan feathers.
Police also towed the Prius.
I mean, if you guys inadvertently have something that has a piece of like a turtle, like a sea turtle shell on it, you could face years in prison. If you have an eagle feather, God forbid, you could face years in prison. So this definitely 100% could lead to serious consequences because of the way that we protect certain animals in this country. And these absolute scumbags who violate our society, violate our laws, should face those consequences. And again, we don't know where the bird is right now. We don't know if this was the swan's swan song. We don't know if there was some foul play in this particular situation. We don't know if the bird's wings were clipped metaphorically and possibly literally. We're not sure exactly what's going on, but I'm telling you, we are going to bust in and figure this out. And these guys should suffer the consequences, so much so that this goes from an anecdote or a nugget in our history to a full roasting.
Santiago says the stolen swan is still missing.
I think they identified it as a female. We did see it at one point in time, like last week, with 4 babies.
So yeah, the bird is still missing at this moment in time. It is presumed dead. Obviously, I will update you on this particular story, but the thing is, I told you that this was more than just an anecdote. This was more than just an individual incident, because there are additional reports from in and around this community of animal sacrifices that are highlighted in this New York Post article. So according to the executive director of an animal advocacy organization known as NY Class, there have been numerous animal sacrifices in the area, and it's been an ongoing problem. She said that there are multiple bloody rites that are carried out in this particular area, and it's possible that this could have been the intent. And in fact, the New York Post actually links to a previous article where they covered animal sacrifices that involved chickens, pigs, and rats that actually happened earlier this year also in this area of Queens. Animal sacrifices are surging in Queens, with chickens, pigs, and rats being tortured, mutilated, killed, or twisted in religious rituals in Parkland surrounding Jamaica Bay, the Post has learned. In a little over a month, at least 9 wounded animals or carcasses have been discovered in the federally managed Spring Creek Park in Howard Beach and the Jamaica Bay Wildlife Rescue in Broad Channel, including 5 pigs with partially severed ears. The creatures recovered from the revolting scene also include a nearby dead baby rat tied up in a bag with chicken bones, a freshly decapitated chicken head, a live hen in distress, and a dead dog with its neck snapped. Now, there are photos of some of these animals that are in this New York Post article. It will be linked in the description, but I'm not going to be showing you the animal sacrifices, photos, and whatnot throughout the course of this video because A, it violates YouTube's terms of service, and B, it's absolutely disgusting. What I will add is that, of course, one of the animals that was killed, and again, kind of swept under the rug up until right now, was a dog. Again, going back to that Trump clip. But also, in addition to that, the baby rat, they should not have rescued it. I mean, let us be honest, there are enough rats in New York City. I'm totally fine with people who want to get rid of the rats, whether they be in a weird sacrifice or not. Quote, "It's continually getting worse. The animal sacrifices are happening more repeatedly, more times a week," Stallone Quealy, co-founder and president of Zion's Mission Animal Rescue, told the Post. The sacrificers know it's open season. One of the distressed pigs was found emaciated in a food-filled crate in July with a deep gash running down its face and its body covered in oils and spices, said Kristen Latuga, who has taken in all 5 of the ailing swine at her Long Island animal sanctuary, Brucey's Angels. Several rescuers and local religious leaders suggested the torture was linked to a sect of Hindu devotees who worship the goddess Kali and have practiced animal sacrifice in the area surrounding Jamaica Bay for decades. Quote, "It's a misconstruing of what the scriptures say about conquering animalistic values," Achara Arun Gossi said, who runs the Bushavar Madir Temple in Ozone Park. So the Post reports that these sacrifices have been going on in and around this area for a while, but they've ramped up dramatically recently, and this is largely due to the fact that we've let an influx of third world immigrants into New York City, given them sanctuary, and again, we have no law enforcement cracking down on this piss poor behavior, and they actually bring in an expert and somebody who's at a Hindu temple that doesn't do these things to explain the religious connotation around it, and I just want to remember that this person is saying that this is related to Hindus in the area, this weird offshoot, what the individuals, the suspects, actually look like that we saw in the beginning of the video. Now, I can't tell if those people are Indian or Hindus just by the look of them. You might be able to assess that they do look like Hindu people, but for me, I just think that these people who arrived here yesterday who don't respect our customs and values are just as American as any of us, and I just want you guys to all understand that these could very easily be people who descended from the Pilgrims who came over on the Mayflower. So shut up with your evil white racism, guys, and just deal with the repeated animal sacrifices, the kidnapping of swans from your local neighborhoods, because these people are entitled to do so, because I don't know if you guys know this, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, America's stolen land, you stole it from the Native Americans, and therefore you have no right to say what goes on or who comes into your country, because it's not really your country, and these people are not only just as American as you, even though they're literal non-Americans, they're more American than you, so deal with the animal sacrifices, you bigot. Now, with all that being said, I want to know what you guys think about this down in the comments below. Should we just accept that we're going to have animal sacrifices now, that this is the new norm, that swans are going to be kidnapped from our lakes and rivers and whatnot, and that's just what we have to deal with? It's the price of improving ourselves by diversifying ourselves, or maybe, just maybe, should we have some sensible immigration policy that doesn't allow these third world customs and sensible law enforcement policy that cracks down on it? Again, all your thoughts down in the comments below. As per usual, if you like this video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on my social medias, support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about a swan napping. Till next time.